Welcome everybody to the Beyond Us podcast. It's your boy Salo, joined here by Daniel,
Hey,
my boy Brett.
What's up?
How's everybody doing?
Brett, go ahead. I'm gonna drink.
We don't have enough time for me to list the problems that are happening in my life. But not bad.
All things considered, right? We're here. We made it.
Yeah, I mean, same here. I'm just kind of big chilling. Same old for the most part. My birthday's next weekend. So one step closer to, I don't know, senior citizenship, I guess. But no, it's just been big
He
chilling.
wants his
I want my
senior coffee already.
Well,
His 50-cent coffee at Bojangles.
I don't drink coffee. It never fails. It never fails. But no, just chilling. Most of my time's been going towards just working on shit on my personal channel. And stuff like that. But
Any birthday plans?
I know that I think we're gonna go out to eat. And then
I imagine you're choosing the location, right?
It's already chosen if we go.
Oh, where are you going?
Sakura.
What is that?
Oh, I didn't realize Sakura was regional.
It
I've
is.
never heard of it.
Kind of like a hibachi grill, I guess. It's hibachi style
Yeah,
foods, rices, noodles, shrimp, steak, stuff like that. But they cook it in front of you,
Okay,
That looks
like at a
yummy.
table that you can sit around, and the chef's in the middle.
Yeah.
And then every
So
once in a while
those
they'll
types
toss
of
you
places
stuff.
are everywhere, but that
I
name I imagine is regional.
I did not know that. Yeah, it's called Sakura over on the East Coast. But
Are you saying
have-
Sakura?
Sakura.
Sakura. Oh, I know Sakura, the Chinese place.
It is pronounced Sakura. I have asked.
Like them?
Yes, them.
Those
But
folks.
is it spelled Sakura?
Sakura.
Yeah. Unless I'm imagining this wrong. S-A-K.
There's not a Sakura in in Concord that's close to me.
I mean, if that's what they're calling their restaurant, that's on them.
Multiple places
but-
I've been to, I've asked, is it Sakura or Sakura? And they're like, it's Sakura.
Yeah, it's Sakura. It means cherry blossom in Japanese.
That makes sense. They got a cherry blossom thing on the
Yeah.
logo. Well, then yes, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They told me it's pronounced Sakura.
Yeah, it's not how it's pronounced.
You know how places here are.
It is. Yeah, it's whatever. It's whatever. As long as everyone knows what it is, I mean, that's fine, I guess.
It's like McDonald's and McDonald's.
McDonald's.
That's how we're supposed to say it.
I've
Really?
never heard anyone call it McDonald's.
That's how we're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
Ew.
Because Mick is an insult in Ireland.
Right.
You McMuffin.
All right, let's move
I
on.
created that one on the spot.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Woo.
Okay.
Speaking of restaurants and regionality, did you guys know that In-N-Out Burger is officially opening up their first location east of Texas?
No.
Oh, no,
East
yeah.
of Texas?
Yeah.
Yes.
In-N-Out.
It's a Western
West
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're opening up one in Tennessee.
I was about to say, I've never eaten that one.
That was confusing to me because I've been to In-N-Out a lot. And it's like, oh, yeah, well, I've done like 30 road trips in my lifetime. That's why I've been to In-N-Out.
To California, to
Yeah,
Arizona. You were
I just
stationed
go all
in
over the
Texas
place.
for basic training. You probably went to In-N-Out Burger.
I also lived in Texas for 3 years when I was a kid.
And that's where it's like big.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, their first one east of Texas is being opened up in Tennessee with plans to expand further in the eastern region.
Finally. We have Cookout, but I'll always accept
Yeah, I'm gonna be
something.
real. When I lived in Tennessee, I fucked with Cookout.
I want you to understand. Those are not the same, Salo.
They're not.
Explain.
So cookout
is nice.
3 a.m. I'm drunk, right?
Yeah.
My homie next to me's high, and we wanted some cheap, greasy food. That's cookout. All right. In-N-Out is
that
like
but for
every
poor people.
other time of the day. This man is so disrespectful.
No. So
In-N-Out's really good.
In-N-Out is really good. I don't know if it's my favorite. Because I've only had In-N-Out a few times, and I've only had Whataburger a few times.
I would equate In-N-Out closer to like a Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Really? Is it the smash patties? The smash burgers? Is that what it is? Or no?
I can't remember.
Like, where they smash the patties?
I
can't remember. I haven't had In-N-Out in 6 years. But no, I would agree, like a Shake Shack, a Steak and Shake kind of place. Yeah, like that. It's on that level.
So like you weren't too far off in terms of cookout, but like Shake Shack, In-N-Out, they're like here. Cookout's here.
And like
they're in the same family, but it's like it's
slightly
like
different tiers.
The cheap poor cousin.
That being said, Cookout's got some things that they don't have that Cookout does really well.
Cookout does some hush puppies really well.
Yeah, they do. That's what I was talking about.
Those hush puppies, bro.
And like, I don't know what else, but in Tennessee, one of the Cookouts, not all of them, but one of the Cookouts had deep fried mashed potatoes. Shit was so good.
It must have been a specialty.
It was just deep fried mashed potato balls. That shit was so good, bro. I'm not even
it's like biting into a French fry, but then like getting creamy.
That gooiness, yeah, dude, it was so good.
It's like whoa.
It was so good. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how much they expand. If they make their way up to Maryland, I'd be happy about it, or at least close, maybe like Virginia or something. But nah, I used to fuck with In-N-Out. So,
I think it would be good for their business.
I do too. I think that they're a business that can handle expanding.
Yeah.
Because there are some businesses I don't think would be as successful.
Like
Whataburger,
yeah. Jack in the Box.
Whataburger always.
I think Jack in the Box would.
I think
they have.
I don't think Jack in the Box would.
Jack in the Box, it's like central U.S. all the way to west, right? Yeah. I think it would do fine. I don't think, like, Jack in the Box, like, 10 years ago, I don't think it would have worked.
I mean, I haven't had Jack in the Box in 6 years, so...
Yeah, so current Jack in the Box has, like, a huge fucking menu.
Do they?
I went to visit my mom and my sisters in Cali, and they were like, oh, let's go to Jack in the Box. I'm like, I don't want to fucking go there. The place sucks.
Out of all the places
that was
in
my
Cali?
impression from when I lived in Texas. That place sucks. We went there. I'm like, what is this menu?
Oh.
You have everything. Like, there was just so much.
I know one place that
really
I know
well.
one restaurant that should expand. Zaxby's.
Yeah, Zaxby's probably should.
Yes, I actually agree with that.
I fucks with Zaxby's, bro.
Butter looking good, my friend.
Here's the thing: they would have to lower their prices.
Yeah, they would.
It's like $15 for a salad and a drink.
Or what's the like? I don't want to say it. This isn't meant in a disrespectful way, but like the Walmart version of Zaxby's.
Please.
Oh God, what's it called?
They need a Dollar Tree menu.
C's or Chester C? No.
Raising Cane's.
Chester's. Oh. I don't think they could really expand that.
I don't think they could either. I'm just saying, like, if they did, I'd fuck with it.
Well, I never.
I think Zaxby's could.
I'd go there.
Raising Cane's and Zaxby's are very similar, Salo.
Really?
Very. They're like Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
Exact same thing, but a little different.
Those are the same restaurant.
It's the same restaurant.
Those are the same restaurant. Oh man,
that confused me so much when I was younger. I remember like I would always go to Hardee's, and then like we moved and I saw Carl's Jr.
I'm like, that looks the same.
It looks really similar.
The
and I go and I
menu's
get
the same.
the food. I'm like, why is this the same?
I've been here.
Dad, are you sure this isn't Hardee's? And he's just like, I don't know, because it was his first time experiencing it too. He's just like, I don't know. It says, I don't know where we are.
Nah, I had that experience.
I had to ask the question, like, what the fuck?
But yeah, anywho, so yeah, In-N-Out's expanding, going to Tennessee as their first Eastern thing. I think that's cool. Tennessee got a lot going on. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but this is really cool. I really agree with this. A new law is either being passed or was passed in Tennessee. Drunk drivers that cause the death of a parent will have to pay child support.
Wow.
Good.
I actually
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Now, I don't know how, because they're going to be in jail, but
I mean, there's ways
unless
to
they
make
get
money,
they get off for manslaughter,
So, from my understanding, they're going to work in the prison system,
probably.
and a percentage of that gets it goes.
Well, I mean,
depends on how much.
If you're paying, like, if you're, let's say you're a father in prison, right? And if you have to pay child support, I don't know necessarily how legally that would work, but you can work in the prison.
Yeah, it's like doing like
prisons
KP
have
duty
jobs.
and shit. Yeah,
Yeah. Normally that money would go into what's called like a commissary.
and then you can spend it on like snacks and cigarettes and shit like that. Yeah,
But that money
would
then
go to the kid. But I think that this is a great law. I
wonder
think it
how
should be
that
nationwide.
works.
I agree. Actually, yeah.
How that works in situations where both parents pass away.
I would assume they still pay child support to the adoption facility or the foster care or
put it in a secured account until the person's 18.
That's what I'm thinking, Salo. I'm thinking like it would make more sense if it went into a secure account that only that kid could access.
I think it depends.
At a certain point.
I think it depends.
If they go to like a foster family.
If they go to if they go to foster care, then yeah. But if they go to like an actual, like if
foster family,
like let's say, God forbid, let's say I have kids and then me and my wife die and my kids have to go to their godfather.
The godfather
would get that money to help him take care of the kid.
I'm kind of thinking in scenarios where you go to like an orphanage.
Yeah, like or a group home or something. Yeah.
Like thinking, not to say like an orphanage doesn't need money to help support the kids,
but they might not use it for
they
that
might not
kid.
Exactly
right.
So
no, I see what you're saying.
In a situation like that would make more sense. If
I would say
like an account.
I would think. I don't know.
Right.
There were no specifics, but I do think it's a great law, and I think it should be federal.
I agree. I think I agree with that. It just makes sense.
I don't see any reason why. And there are people fighting it, and I'm like, why? Don't drink and drive, dickhead.
Yeah, who would fight that?
People that like to drink and drive. People that like to go out to the bar and don't want to get a cab. That's who would fight that. People
Uber's like $20.
Over machismo douchebags that think that they're good enough to drive after they've been drinking because they only had a couple or they know their own limit. Things like that. I don't care how much I've had to drink. I can tell you right now, and Brett's seen me drink. I can drink. I would never, I don't care if I've only had one beer. I would never have a beer and then get in the car. In the driver's seat. Not unless it's been an hour or two after my last beer.
Yeah, you come to our house, the keys are gone. You got to put the keys in the little thing, and you ain't driving drunk.
It's just
you sleeping on the couch. Or
I'm not going to finish my drink and then get in a car.
No.
Yeah.
Now, if I stopped drinking 2 hours ago and I only had 3 beers, I'm good. But like, I just finished drinking. I just knocked back 2 tequila shots, and I'm on my way out the door. Hell no.
No, it doesn't work like that.
I don't care. And look, realistically, I probably could, knowing my own tolerance. I probably could and would be fine. Not worth it. Not worth the risk.
Yeah.
If I have liquor of any kind, I won't drive that night. I'll only drive if all I had was beers, and it's been a while since I had my last one. If I had any kind of liquor, that could hit you at any second.
So I mean, so like in the military, rule not a lot of people know. You're allowed to have like one drink with lunch. Not while you're working,
not at work.
But like let's say you and your your coworkers decide you want to go out to like let's say Chili's for lunch. You go out, you get a beer with your food, right? You're fine legally wise. But if you waited to drink that beer until right before you're about to leave, somebody else better be driving.
Yep. Or if you had a half a beer left and they're like, all right, let's wrap it up. And you're like, oh, shit. No. So I just thought I'd bring that up. I saw that. I'm in full support of that law. Full support. I love it.
Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of benefits from it. I don't see a downside.
I don't see any downside to it. None.
No, I don't know what you could use as an argument.
So those cases are pretty cut and dry. Like it's not like we could be framing the wrong person. No,
right.
Dude, you were driving.
Like that's what I was going to say. Like there's no way to be falsely accused of drinking and driving. You either had alcohol in your system or you didn't.
Mm-hmm. Like now let's propose the scenario where it's proven that both individuals in the accident, right, both drivers were intoxicated.
You're still at fault.
Because you killed someone. Someone died.
You're both at fault.
So I'm thinking about this from cases I've heard of in courtrooms. Mm-hmm. Right, so let's say you're trying to get like an insurance payout. You're trying to make sure that the individual who was drinking was responsible. If it is found out that the people that perished were also intoxicated, the case is completely thrown out. Because you have to like that individual, even though they perished, they have to assume their own responsibility.
Sure,
and it is not guaranteed that the other person was solely at fault. And
right.
Because of that, it's ruled null
for
and
insurance cases and stuff like that. But I think not for like jail time and stuff like that. So in a situation, let's say you and I both are drinking and then you and I get in a fight. We're both getting arrested for assault.
You're both getting a ticket for that as well, or whatever they do.
Just because I won the fight, or just because you won the fight, doesn't mean that the other person doesn't get charged.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so, yeah.
That would take into other scenarios as well. Like, they would have witnesses. Theoretically. Sure. They have witnesses in that situation. It's like, oh, no, Brett, that motherfucker started the fight. This dude was minding his own business.
Assault is assault. In the eyes of the court.
If there's witnesses to prove that you were defending yourself.
Not in most states. Some states, sure.
Really?
Guys.
I thought in North Carolina I'd be fine with knocking someone out if they're beating my ass.
Let me just let y'all know something. In Maryland, if someone broke into my house and I shot them to defend myself, I'm still going to court for murder.
In Maryland?
Oh, actually, now that you mention that, I think I know this is a comedy skit, but I mean, people talk about real shit. Dave Chappelle was talking about something like that. Like he was getting a gun for home defense, and then he found out it's like, hey, you have to load your shotgun a certain way. And he was like, what? You have to load first. You have to load. What is it? Is it birdshot? I think
it's bird, then buck.
Bird, then buck. The first one
has to be birdshot.
I mean,
it's to deter and injure.
Yeah, as he was saying, it's to pepper them, but it's to deter them.
Yeah, because that's the joke where he made. Well, where do I get large white man that broke in my house shot? Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Like the first one is a deterrent.
The second one is
birdshot is not going to kill you, but if they proceed to continue,
right.
Then you now have the right to defend yourself with the buckshot.
But there is no birdshot pistol.
No.
If you break in my house and I grab my pistol and I say, stop walking towards me or I will shoot, and you have a knife in your hand and you keep walking towards me and I shoot you, I'm going to court for murder. Now, There's an old saying that I was told by my ROTC instructor in high school. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
That's true. That's true.
There's a good chance those 12 say you're good to go. But nonetheless, I went to court.
Yeah. In that situation, you still go to court and you're still tried.
I'm still being charged with murder.
There's still a chance that a jury would be like, no, I don't think you
did anything wrong.
For some reason.
Yeah, I don't like him. Let's give him
the jury could be like, hey, nah, we still think you're guilty.
Right.
Because that can happen.
It can, right. But there is no self-defense law in the state of Maryland. None. If someone ran up to me and just sucker punched me and I hit him back and knocked him out, I'm being charged with assault too. Even though he snuck me. It's crazy, but it's how it is.
So in North Carolina, the beautiful state of North Carolina, passed a law in 2011 that was a stand your ground law. So they can use deadly force and do not have a duty to retreat wherever they are lawfully in either of these situations to prevent bodily harm, or if they're in their home, vehicles, or workplace and another person is under threat of an imminent danger. So in North Carolina, if you're being attacked, I can shoot a motherfucker.
Oh, dude, every state's different. In Texas, if you're on my lawn, I can shoot you, no questions asked.
Woo.
In Texas, if you are on my property, I can shoot you, no questions asked.
Yeah, you can't do that here.
No.
Absolutely.
See, that's the opposite side of the spectrum.
So like, I'm thinking federally. I feel like federally there should be like a
defense law.
Like, yeah,
agreed.
Like something, I'm not saying go as far as Texas necessarily.
No,
you could just shoot whoever's on your.
But
property,
if I feel my life is genuinely in danger, I should be able to defend myself.
Yes,
by any means necessary.
It shouldn't come down to 12 random people deciding whether or not, like listening to someone's sob story over the situation, deciding, you know what, you could have given him more time to walk away.
Especially in your own home. No, at that point, I don't care. He's in my house.
There should be a law that says, if it's him or me, I get the right to make it me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I agree. You ain't coming in my house. You made it past the door. You make it past the door, it's fair game. It's over.
You came inside, dog. Did you not see the beware of shotgun sign outside? That should be the rule. You have to have a sign outside that says you're a gun owner, and then if they come inside, that's their own risk.
Now
it's like a beware of dog sign.
Then it comes to like, police and everything doing their job and deciding like, hey, was this person running towards you and you shot him, or was this person running out the front door?
Yeah, because if you shoot them in the back,
that you have a gun.
Yeah,
I mean, I do hear that's when they're the most dangerous.
That is when they're running away from you.
I hear that's when when they're running away.
Scary.
That's when they're dangerous.
Yeah. You could die if they're running away.
God forbid they decide to jump.
But
we skeet shoot.
So something I think Brett and I definitely want to talk about. Speaking of people almost dying, but not. We here at Beyond Us just want to say congratulations to Damar Hamlin for the amazing fight that he has had. Salo, I doubt Damar Hamlin, a safety for the Buffalo Bills.
The guy who passed out?
He did not pass out. His heart stopped on the field.
On the field?
Yes, he got hit. He hit somebody, but the collision caused an impact on his chest at just the right angle, at just the right time. He stood up from the hit and then immediately collapsed. His heart stopped. There was 9 minutes of CPR on the field. He was taken to a hospital. He was put on a ventilator. He didn't wake up until, I think, 2 days later. And being the champion that Damar Hamlin is, his first question was, who won the game?
Who won?
Because that is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who won?
So it was.
He was scary.
There's been talk about this a lot, but when a player's injured in the football field, right? They take the time. They go. They check on him. They
get him off the
field. They cart him out. They get him off the field, and then they play it again. They continue. Right.
Not this time.
This is the first game
ever.
This NFL history where both sides said we're done.
We're done. And just walked away.
Really?
They canceled the game.
They canceled the game.
Really?
They were all done. Players from both sides were rushing over to the hospital to make sure he's okay.
And I would just want to say, as an extra shout out, the player that he hit, that tackled him on a different team, wide receiver for Cincinnati Bengals, T. Higgins, stayed at that hospital until he woke up.
Good man. Good man.
He felt guilty, and people were ripping him like it was his fault.
It was a routine tackle.
It was a routine tackle. And,
it wasn't illegal or anything like that.
And T. Higgins wasn't the one that made the tackle.
Yeah. T. Higgins was tackled. The guy with the ball. He was running. He got tackled by Hamlin.
And Hamlin hit him the wrong way.
It didn't look bad.
It was a...
he didn't even get hit?
It was a regular...
He hit someone.
Yeah.
Dang.
But he hit them, and their shoulder pad hit him in the chest at just the wrong second, at the wrong angle. It was a complete fluke. But he's the one that made the hit, and people were ragging on T. Higgins. For those of y'all that were ragging on him, y'all are pieces of shit. He didn't do nothing. Nothing.
So that's also something that was happening is people were looking very hard
for someone to blame.
Bad guy. They want like just the fans were just looking for someone to be upset at, looking for someone to blame, and you couldn't really blame anybody.
No, you couldn't. No.
You couldn't blame the players because
nobody did anything wrong.
No one did anything wrong. You couldn't blame the coaching staff because both sides, their priority was making sure he was okay.
Yeah,
they didn't give a fuck about anything else. We want to make sure he's okay. Both sides were like that.
The two most popular things I saw get blamed was the people in charge of the NFL for not announcing that the game got canceled sooner. But I don't blame them. They were focused on taking care of everything in the moment. The fans are not the priority right now.
No, they were focused on reporting and making sure that everything was taken care of.
And then human beings survived.
And then some people were blaming the COVID vaccine.
That I didn't hear too much about that.
I saw a lot of it on Twitter.
Oh.
A lot of people saying it's the I bet you he's vaccinated. I bet you it was the vaccine. All the vaccine's killing all these young kids. Now look, is the death toll high right now? Yeah. Does the percentage say that it's associated with the vaccine? I guess. You can make a connection for anything though. Maybe the death toll just went up over the past couple years because I don't know. There's a lot of dangerous shit in the world right now. COVID killed way more people than the vaccine did.
Maybe it's because we purposely put our kids around people with chickenpox so that they get chickenpox out of the way. Maybe that's fucking with people. Dude.
There's a theory actually, and I read about this a couple of days ago that was saying that there was a spike in kids getting sick all of a sudden during COVID because they were put away from the older people who usually would get you sick.
Yeah.
From all the grandparents, family members. Yeah. So when COVID, when everybody went back to normal, these kids were not only exposed to COVID,
they got hit with
everything
a wall.
Else.
Yeah, it's like the bubble boy syndrome.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we can't even pinpoint. I don't think it's possible because
the human body is designed to be exposed to ailments,
trial and tribulation.
It's supposed to be. It has to take those in so that it can develop
antibodies,
resistances, antibodies, and protect itself for when it happens again.
But
that's just how the body works.
And look, maybe we're wrong. Maybe it was the vaccine's fault. It doesn't matter. We don't know. We don't know for sure. Maybe it was. Probably wasn't. But who cares? Who cares what the reason was? Let's focus on the fact that this, for lack of a better term, this kid, because he's only 23, 24 years old, or was fighting for his life. He's okay now. Young. He's awake. Yeah. He's off the ventilator. He's back in Buffalo.
He got off the ventilator?
They took him off the ventilator after 2 days of being awake. He is
really
gonna make
good,
a full recovery.
There is only one type of conversation that should be spawning from, like injury wise, is when we talk about safety of these people.
Is it preventable?
Yeah,
and it wasn't.
It wasn't preventable. But maybe people take a lot of the things that they do a little more seriously in terms of health and fitness and taking care of like the players on the football team. Like you had Tua and his concussion,
and he's not playing this weekend. They're in the playoffs and he's not playing because he's just been so beat up this season.
This stuff starts catching up. Now, there was nothing to really prevent what happened to
Hamlin. No,
to Hamlin, but the awareness that this can bring is probably really important.
And I will say, as somebody that is not getting enough acknowledgement, the trained physician, trainer or whoever for the Bills that did 9 minutes of CPR.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if you've ever had to do CPR.
That's hard.
I was certified in CPR for a long time. I could go get my recertification right now. I just don't go anywhere, so I don't need it. But CPR is taxing. Like 1 minute of CPR is equivalent to a solid 20-minute workout.
You go after 2 minutes of CPR. If that person is not back, most of the time they're presumed dead.
Yeah, they quit because and most of the time you give up because you're gassed.
Yeah,
this
someone
guy
else has to take over.
9 minutes of CPR. He deserves every recognition. He should be the first trainer ever put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Do you have a guideline to, like, you were a CPR certified? Mm-hmm. Is there a point where they said, okay, you're good, you just don't have to do it anymore?
No, you always have to get recertified. Oh, do you mean doing CPR? So I've only had to do CPR on a actual person once, and I just did that until the ambulance got there.
That makes sense. Okay.
Once the paramedics got there, they took over. It wasn't my problem anymore because it was out and about. I did what I knew how to do because I was certified. I was trained. I knew what I needed to do. I did it until paramedics got there. I told someone else to call 911, give them the location, and that was it.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
On practice dummies, it's just until they know you've got the routine down, how to hold your hands properly, which, for the record, it's like this. You grip around your fingers, and you do that. And you want to aim for right below where the rib cage kind of starts. 90% of the time, if you're doing it right, you're going to break their ribs. It's going to happen. You're going to hear them crack, and that's okay.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Most of the time, CPR causes bruising. It causes broken ribs. Occasionally, it can cause a cracked sternum.
There's been several conversations of, like, people who know how to do CPR, whether or not they should actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they cause an injury while doing it,
it can make things worse.
That have sued.
Yeah.
It can make things worse. There are people that have just sued the person trying to save their life.
Which is why you have to be certified. If you're certified, you're protected from those lawsuits.
Yeah. So
if you're not certified and you can do CPR, they can sue you.
I could hurt them. Oh, wow.
They can sue you if you cause an injury.
Yeah, I don't know about Good Samaritan.
In the moment, depending on what it is, you have to weigh.
If someone's laying on the ground, look, I'm going to be real. Even though I'm not certified right now, if someone near me just collapses and I check and they have no heartbeat, I'm doing CPR.
It's going to be a rare instance
unless I see a DNR. Like if I see a DNR bracelet, all right, hands off.
So it might not be as rare as you think. Really? And the reason I say that is because of how our medical system is in America. So you collapse to something, right? Ambulance is on their way. Somebody who's not trained in CPR but knows enough, certified but knows how to do CPR comes over. They're keeping you alive, and then you get in the ambulance. You get taken to the hospital. The ambulance costs money. Them doing their initial looks costs money. Them performing any operations costs money. And by the time you're done being in the hospital,
unless you got top tier insurance,
lengthy ass fucking bill,
yeah.
And it's like you have no way to pay for this
unless your insurance is Boss Hogging.
Yeah, unless your insurance is doing what it
should,
what you would like
what
it to
should,
do, what it should do.
Our insurance is not Boss Hogging yet.
All of a sudden, you're put into a situation where if you don't sue somebody to get all this money, you don't know where you're gonna get it.
Right.
Now, is that fair? It's not, and it's not like
no.
But
Salo, I had a car accident, and I had. They basically told me I had to go to the hospital because they were convinced I had a concussion. They didn't give me a choice pretty much because they thought I wasn't of sound mind. Made me go to the hospital, gave me a scan to make sure if I had a concussion or not, checked the rest of me over, and then billed me $6,000.
By something you didn't even want.
And I didn't even want to go.
Man.
But they determined that I wasn't of sound mind because I might have had a concussion. For the record, I did.
Oh.
And
but still,
and for the record, that's a real thing. Like, you can be delirious to the point where you don't know what is best for you.
That's crazy. You know, I had
someone who is of sound mind has to take over it.
Because that should be like life changing. You know, like that could put you in debt. That could cripple you financially. Like,
I had to pay that off for years.
I had an accident back in the day that was like I was going to work and the front part of my car, the hood or whatever, it just unpopped. It hit right into my face, into the windshield. I stopped on the side. Police came, ambulance came. I got out of the car. I looked dazed as fuck, but I was like, "Hey, I'm good. Don't call an ambulance." Dude was like, "Okay, you good?" He said I was good. And he let me go. He let the ambulance go. The police was good. Like, imagine if he would have just made me go to the hospital for a concussion that I didn't have.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's crazy.
But
speaking of injuries, happened shortly after we recorded the last podcast, like a day or two. Jeremy Renner.
Oh, dude.
Got hospitalized. Something that probably should have killed him.
Yeah.
He was driving a snowplow. I don't know all the details of the story.
I know a bit if you need me to.
So the snowplow kept going and it was supposed to have stopped.
Hawkeye?
The story that I was reading. And he went to go stop it and he fell and the snowplow ran him over.
That is not the story I got.
Okay, what's the story?
The story I got is he had a plow attached to his truck. He parked, got out of the truck, but didn't actually put it in park, and it kept going, and he tried to catch up to stop it, and that's when he got run over.
Man, he looks effed
That's
up.
what I got. Now, granted, I don't know for sure. That's just what I was given.
Yeah.
He was airlifted. Holy crap.
But he was, it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
But Jeremy Renner's a superhero, and that's why he'll be okay.
Of course.
Motherfucker's Hawkeye.
But yeah, he survived. I'm not sure if he's still hospitalized, but
I think he still is. Yeah, he was in the ICU for a while. I think he's in
I would imagine he's still in the hospital.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not positive.
All that money and you go and move snow from your own driveway.
Some people like doing simple stuff, man.
Yeah. It's just I just don't associate the actor class of people, and I don't mean to stereotype people. Obviously, everybody's unique, and you can't confine people to specific cast. But
for sure.
As an actor, you'd think like, oh, I'm gonna hire the work to do it. So it's crazy he got in an accident like that.
I don't know.
As an actor,
as a streamer, if I ever take off on my streaming account and I start making millions, that doesn't mean I'm just gonna hire people to do my menial tasks. That's how you keep your millions.
That's true.
That's fair.
I mean, think about the money he probably spent to set it up to where he can do that himself.
Right, and he probably just likes it.
Now I mean,
I love driving.
I think it was just like an outdoor day with his family.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, like.
But
shit happens.
He's 51 too. He's.
I still think it's crazy that he wasn't supposed to be Hawkeye.
Who was supposed to be Hawkeye?
Jensen Ackles. Dean Winchester.
Dean Winchester.
He's like, who's Jensen Ackles?
Yeah, I saw him like
getting ready to Google
that's
it.
who that is?
Typing.
Yeah, Dean Winchester. He was supposed to be Hawkeye, and he turned. It was right after season 5 ended, and he turned down Hawkeye to go back to Supernatural
For the 85th season.
You ain't kidding. But no, yeah, like that was crazy. That whole thing with Jeremy Renner. That shit was nuts. I'm gonna backtrack back to football real quick. I have 2 other football things. I'm gonna just knock them out real quick. That way we don't have to come back to football later. So just 2 things that I thought were interesting, little fun fact tidbits. So Stetson Bennett is the quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. Just won back-to-back championships for college football. First team to win back-to-back championships in a long time. Here's the crazy thing. Stetson Bennett has been in college for too long, it feels like. He is older than 5 of the quarterbacks that are currently going to the NFL playoffs.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. But he's in his 7th year of college because I think he's getting a doctorate. And so he's 25. And in the NFL, these 5 quarterbacks should be in the playoffs. Tua, we just talked about him. He's hurt, so he won't be in. But Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. All of them are younger than the guy that just won the college football championship. They are all in the NFL playoffs.
So I was talking with the guy at work about this guy. He brought it up because something flashed on the TV, right?
Right.
And he was just like, "Oh, I fucking hate that guy." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Oh, because he's so old in college, and he's looking like he's really good, but he's playing against all these kids." And I'm just like, isn't that more impressive?
Right.
And he's like, what? I'm just like, he's older, so theoretically they're much more fit and young and have all this energy.
Can recover
faster. He should be slowing
yeah.
down and being worse. How is he still playing at this
25?
High caliber? What I'm saying is theoretically,
right?
Like everyone else around him is more spry and have all this fucking energy. Why is he like? I don't understand. Why are you upset that he's doing well?
Yeah,
and it's just like, well, I mean, he's playing against a bunch of people that they're new and they don't know as much. I'm like, but that's like every quarterback in college.
Yeah.
And like the same person I was having a conversation with, he was like he was saying how he loves college way more than the NFL.
That's fair.
And I'm like, well, here let me break it down this way, just so you can see a difference. In college, right? You look at this team. Let's say you're really good. You're the best guy on your team, right? And you're a superstar. You're showing up. You're kicking ass. Well, when you go to the NFL,
you're the new guy.
You're now
at the bottom.
You were the best guy at your school, but every single person around you was the best guy at their school. Every single person you're playing was the best guy in their school.
So, if his argument is he's so much older than these guys, does that mean it's not fair when Tom Brady plays a Joe Burrow?
Right, like stuff like that. It's like that doesn't make it's about your ability.
I saw somebody say something similar. They're like, I don't like him because he's too old to be doing it. It's not fair. He's playing against these young guys that aren't as seasoned. And I'm like, you're 26, and I know for a fact an 18-year-old would smack the fuck out of you on a fucking field. What are you talking about? Shut up.
Why are you guys acting like he's in his late 40s?
Right. Now, I will say, there have been some memes where he's got gray hair, and it's like, Stetson Bennett questionable due to prostate, gonna go ahead and try for his 53rd NCAA championship in a row. Like, I've seen some jokes, and they're funny, but come on. Dude's 25. Relax. Now, if he hits a number that starts with 3, yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem.
Well, I think it's kind of impressive. Like, if he's going for his doctorate and still
playing ball, right,
football,
right.
Like,
what are you doing?
Time go?
Right. He is reading while working out. Audiobooks, dog. Audiobooks.
This man, yeah, he just has, like, instead of workout music, he just has his textbooks being played in his ear.
The fibia is connected to the. But nah. So the other thing I had, I just wanted to throw this out there. So NFL Research is an official Twitter account for the NFL that posts like statistics and stuff like that. And I just wanted to call them out on their bullshit. Because they posted a thing that said Tyreek Hill is the only player in Super Bowl era to record a touchdown in each of the following ways: receiving, rushing, kick return, punt return, and fumble return. Here's the problem. I know for a fact so did Deion Sanders. And on top of that, Deion Sanders had a pick 6. Deion Sanders did it better. I'm not trying to take away from what Tyreek does, but do not disrespect primetime like that. You're not going to disrespect Neon Deion like that. I promise you he has all of those stats.
Tyreek.
That's a tough job, though. Like, I don't know who specifically has the job of compiling all these statistics.
I don't know either, but don't be wrong.
Well, no. I mean, don't just throw out information, but, like, all the stuff that has been legit, like, I could never.
No. I will say, the only stat that gets on my nerves is today we had a first ever, the score was 42-37. That's never happened before. I don't give a shit. Stop it. I don't care. No one fucking cares about your weird origami numbers.
Bro, like, oh,
not origami.
In the past 2 games, this quarterback has the highest QBR. It's like, well, how has he been all season?
What about the other? Yeah. Or my favorite, when people want to only throw the bad things, not the good things. So, like, Dak Prescott. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not happy about it. Man leads the league in interceptions. He does. And he missed 5 games. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. You know what else he did, though? He took his team from 28th overall offense to 1st. So, yeah, he got a lot of interceptions. You know what else he does? A lot of winning. Let's just keep it a buck. Turnovers don't fucking matter if you win. Right? I'm just saying.
At a point, yeah.
Let's just keep it real. You guys want to do question real quick?
Question. Yes.
All right.
Sure.
So we got one question. We'll go ahead and address the question thing real quick. So, last episode had some delays, and
is not out by the time we're recording.
Correct.
This one.
So, if you see this and you asked a question on last episode on the YouTube video, that's why we're not answering it now. We will answer it in the next video, along with whatever questions come from this
one. When we see it.
Right. But we didn't want you guys to think that you put questions on last episode and we just ignored them. They don't exist yet. But we do have one question from Murphy over on Twitter. When a show or movie deviates from its source material, comics or books, how do you feel about that? Is it okay to do so, or should people stick to the original? A second tweet to add to that. Games too, whenever a movie or show has some type of source media. Is it okay to deviate from the source material? I say it depends. Comic books? Absolutely.
I want to hear Salah's take real quick. You look like you want to say something.
Well, I was thinking about Game of Thrones. They actually ran out of books by the time the series was releasing more series, so they kind of had to bullshit their way, and it was horrible. So
that's like, why you shouldn't do something that hasn't finished the source material.
That's what I just think of. I'm like, damn, they
fucking idiots,
I understand. Bro. Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You can't put a stamp on the entire saga with an ending. You bullshit because the entire story was written by someone else, except for the most important part, the ending. You know,
doing something like that
is dumb.
It hurts. You guys haven't seen this, but for Dragon Ball Super, the anime was coming out before the manga had been written. And although for the most part it was similar, like it was the same,
right?
The manga has key details and events that take place that don't exist in the show because they weren't thought of the time the show was coming out,
right?
And so to a lot of fans, there's like two different canons. And it's like, do we go with the anime because it came out first? Do we go with the manga because it's literally the creator writing the manga? Or do we put them together and try to figure out, like, so it creates weird canon scenarios.
Right.
But specifically for the question, I have to more so agree with Daniel in the fact that it depends, because
it's totally fine with comics because comics have 15,000 different continuities anyway. It can just be a new continuity. But I feel like if you deviate from a book, you're just a dickhead.
Especially if it's a fan base that have been waiting for the release. Like Harry Potter, you're not going to change the entire thing that makes it a Harry Potter movie.
Here's what fucks me up about like deviating from source material. When it's so detailed that you literally have a script. The script was written for you.
Right.
It's the book.
You just have to do what it says.
And now you might have to add some details here and there.
Yeah.
Like setting, some characters.
Or maybe
a little bit of dialogue here and there.
Like, I understand situations where you have to cut certain things out.
Sure.
I get it.
Perfect example.
But
Stephen King's It. There's no reason to put a orgy of teenagers on a big screen. No need. We don't need that.
No.
That happened in the book.
You got to cut that out?
That happened in the book.
You got to cut that out? You got to cut that out.
All of those kids, they all slept with the same chick, all in the sewers, all at once. She slept with all of them to keep them calm. That was the reason. I've read almost every Stephen King book ever. Solo's like, what the fuck did he just say? So, in It, the main girl...
I think we talked about this before.
I don't know.
I'm surprised you don't remember this.
I don't remember what the heck.
In It, the main girl sleeps with all of the other... outcasts
I heard you
in the sewers to keep them calm so that they don't panic because they're about to deal with Pennywise. But and then it's even said in the book she only has an orgasm with two of them because those are the two she's actually interested in. Now, they're like 14 maybe. We don't need that in a fucking movie. No. Nope. I'm okay with you deviating. I'm okay with it. Good call.
Stuff. So you like stuff that makes sense and translate. Like if you're going to translate a book to a film, then you need to also be sensible with what like you're going to be showing.
You need to keep it appropriate.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
And you don't need to change things that don't need to be changed.
Like if there's no reason to do it. Like if it's
if in the book the character is described as a light-skinned man with long dreadlocks. We don't need to hire a white dude with a fade.
I agree with that.
We can get a light-skinned brother with fucking dreads.
They're making Velma.
Oh, don't even get me started on that shitty fucking show.
I heard it was bad.
I watched those two episodes. It might be one of the worst things I've watched in the last 5 years. It is fucking horrible.
They just changed it up to change it up.
Oh, it's not even about the changes. Literally, the first scene in that show is they're high school students, so they're teenagers. 6 teenagers naked in the shower, just showering together. This is a children's show, and they're teenagers. This isn't good for kids or for adults. Kids are seeing nudity. Adults are seeing child nudity. This is bad. Now, I will say, they had soap bubbles to cover their bits. But is that enough? Because it's not for me.
That's not a good way to set the tone.
Oh, and just in case anybody was curious on why the other reasons this show sucks, without any major spoilers, Shaggy is adamantly against drugs. Velma is terrified of trying to solve a mystery. Daphne is a Asian girl adopted by a black and white lesbian couple that are cops that are horrible at their jobs. Oh, and Daphne's also a drug dealer. And Freddie is a pompous bitch boy, rich boy who has only gone halfway through puberty, so he's got a tiny pecker. And he doesn't know how to fucking do anything on his own. So every time food's put in front of him, like a steak or a pancake, he just hands his knife and fork to his mom and goes, "Cutties."
Is that canon? You didn't make that up?
That is 100% in this show. I promise. I will record a snippet of it and send it to you after this.
I'm terrified. I think I'll pass.
And there's no Scooby.
What?
There's no Scooby.
I'm gonna walk back to the question. So
there's no Scooby?
Yeah. Sorry, so asked about video games. Whereas a show needs to make, like, a lot of times needs to make certain changes for content purposes. Very rare instances, in my opinion, they take special liberties that might actually improve the show, add depth to or explanation to a character's choices and stuff like that. In a video game, I feel like a lot of things probably can just stay as the source material.
Depends on the game.
And the reason I say that is, in video games, you have the ability, let's say for comic books, for instance, you have the ability to make everything happen. Like, a lot of times for shows and movies, they have to make changes because they're not capable of replicating things.
Sure.
Although
we're at the point where that's going. That's not an excuse anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as much of an excuse anymore. But, like, that was my whole thing with video games. When a video game went too far away from the source material, or just changed something. And in my mind, I know this is still going to Dragon Ball. There are Dragon Ball games that did that,
right?
Where, like, they just made stuff up, and you didn't need to do that. There's enough content and everything that you can just rip this from the source material. Why are you not just sticking with it?
So unless I'm misunderstanding the question, I think the question, because I think you're talking about, like, a video game doing the same thing. I think his question is only
about, like,
if a movie or show is made based off a game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Everything you said still applies. But, like, that's why I said, depending on the game, it matters. Because, like, a game like Sonic the Hedgehog, you're going to have to make your own story. There's not a lot of story to the old Sonic games. A game like Mario, there's not a lot of story to the old Mario games. It's just walk around on infinite platform maps until you save the princess.
Now, there are games that have a story,
but not a lot.
But if that's not the story you're telling,
then that's fine.
That's important too.
Yeah,
if you're not telling that story,
deviate.
Okay, sure.
Do your own thing.
This is a game.
Don't tell that story and then fuck it up. But my rule, when it comes to deviation, in my opinion, the only thing you should never deviate from is books. If you're making a movie and you're calling it the same thing as the book, do not change the plot.
At least not the major plot. Like,
if you want to make something in the same universe, go ahead.
Name it something else, right?
Maze Runner is a perfect example. I don't know if you guys saw Maze Runner back when it came out in, like, 2014 or something.
I think the first one.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Fairly similar to the book. Fairly. There were some changes. There were some deviations. Overall, pretty similar. Second movie, completely different from the book. Why did we change in the second movie? Why were the Scorch Trials not Scorch Trials?
Oh, I never saw the second. Did they deviate then?
Completely. From, like,
I've never actually seen Maze Runner.
From, like, the 8th minute of the movie on, it's just a different story.
Damn, I read the book, but I never saw the movie.
The main character falls in love with a different character than he did in the book. Like he has, like, a last minute kiss scene in one of the movies with a character, and then has a last-minute kiss scene in the book with a different character. Like, you don't have to change shit like that.
So, do you think it's rather conceited of a director, let's say, to look at a very successful product
and say, I know better?
Your odds are...
Yeah, you fucking dickhead.
You know how something should go better.
Fuck you dickhead. Yeah.
Like...
It's insulting to the writer. It's insulting to the fans that read the books.
Like, let's be honest. You wouldn't be making this movie
if that book wasn't
if it
successful.
Wasn't so successful. Now, if you take an unsuccessful book
and make a movie out of it,
and make a movie out of it and change it to make it better,
or
sure, I don't know of any scenarios like that.
I can give you a pseudo scenario. It's not an unsuccessful book. It's an unpopular book. And it's a short story, not a book. But a short story that didn't gain a lot of traction, The Black Phone. Made a movie, took your own liberties with it. Now, that being said, took your own liberties with the permission and help of the author, but took your own liberties. There were parts of the movie. There were parts of the movie that were not in the short story. One, short stories cannot all cover a movie.
You're not going to be able to expand it.
But, I mean, also a little side fact, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but that movie is based off a short story written by Stephen King's son.
No, I did know his son was writing books.
Yeah, he goes by Joe Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's Stephen King's son. And he is an
author. He didn't want the notoriety of being associated with his father. Yep. So he wrote under a pen name or something like that.
Yep. And he wrote the short story, The Black Phone, which was adapted into a movie last year. Or the year before, technically.
Did you like it? Was it good?
I didn't hate it. I had my problems with it. There were things that didn't make sense.
That was a lot of my issue, was stuff didn't necessarily make sense and wasn't explained the best way
properly.
I don't think overall it was a bad movie.
I guess it's not even that it didn't make sense. Brett made a better point with it not being explained the right way. It wasn't given an explanation, and that's why it didn't make sense, as opposed to, oh, this is just dumb. It was more like, wait, why is this happening?
Yeah, I remember from the conversation me and Daniel had after we saw the movie, it was a lot of, like, making assumptions as to why things went the way they did and why, like, things didn't go the way we would think that they would.
So without
a lot of assumptions.
Without any major spoilers, because this is something that actually I want to tell Brett because I found this out and this makes a difference. So in the movie, a child is abducted by a serial kidnapper and murderer. And while he is held in this basement, there is a phone, the Black Phone. It is a rotary phone that is not connected to anything that will randomly ring. Only this kid and the kidnapper can hear it ring. Kidnapper thinks it's because of static electricity. It's actually the spirits of the previous kids calling the new kid, trying to help him. But we are never given a reason why. Now, you know all that just from the trailer. We are never given a reason why. Brett, I have the reason. That kid has The Shining.
That was something we talked about.
But that has been confirmed by Joe Hill.
Okay.
Confirmed that kid has The Shining.
What is The Shining for those of us who didn't
mystical adeptness, susceptibility to the mystical arts. Yeah.
Something a lot of people don't necessarily connect if you're not a person that has read the books or has watched the films and taken enough detail. The Shining, most notably for Stephen King's The Shining, where it's about, the writer takes his family into...
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, here's Johnny. Most people have seen The Shining.
Great movie.
The gift that kid has to see spirits and talk with someone that's not there.
Supernatural susceptibility.
Yeah, supernatural gifts, that is something that is throughout all of Stephen King's books. It's something that kind of, or most of them, something that loosely connects all of them.
Because it has been confirmed, it's canon, all of his stories exist within one multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's why
the
in the Dark
is
Tower...
an ability that happens in a lot of them.
Yeah, that's why in the Dark Tower movie, there's actually a... in one of the worlds, there's a amusement park called the Pennywise Park. It's a reference, because they're all within one multiverse.
I'm cool with talking about this since The Dark Tower came out a long time ago. It's a film you should go see.
I loved it. I'm disappointed it's not getting more.
I've heard the book.
So
I've heard of the book.
I've read all 8 of them.
There's something that's happening where to power this tower, this guy's taking like children and sucking out what seems to be like this mental energy out of them to power this tower.
Yep.
Those are actually people that have been confirmed to have the Shining.
Yep.
The supernatural gift. Most people don't know that they have it, but it's something prevalent throughout all of his stories.
Yep. One of my favorite Idris Elba movies.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
The what was the sequel to The Shining called?
I
can't remember.
It came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, in that movie, it's like a Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep,
like that. Doctor Sleep, yeah, Doctor Sleep. So, in that movie, you get a little more detail as to what The Shining is, how there's a bunch of people that have it. In my personal opinion, I thought Doctor Sleep was kind of boring.
It was. As a super Stephen King fan, it was.
I think it was pretty important so that you understand a lot of his mediums. Like, you understand the Stephen King verse a little bit more. Kind of boring, in my opinion. But it was good knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it because it helped me understand.
Yep. But no, the Dark Tower was great. I'm disappointed it's not getting more. Genuinely, I'm not even kidding. Genuinely one of my favorite Idris Elba things.
It was really good.
Speaking of actors.
I liked it a lot.
Speaking of actors. Denzel Washington. Did you know we've been saying his name wrong?
How do you say it?
It's Denzel.
Sounds like a tooth product. Apply some Denzel.
It's
after
Denzel.
rinsing.
And Henry Cavill, Superman? Nope.
Oh.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I do remember him saying that somewhere where he was like someone went up to him and asked him like, "Hey, so I found something out and it seems kind of weird. Isn't your name is not pronounced Henry Cavill?" He's like, "No, it's not.
It's Cavill."
Why have you not corrected anybody? It's just like
don't really care.
Yeah.
No, Denzel was on a show and he was like, "Well, actually, it's Denzel."
But that was weird.
So apparently it's because his dad's name is also Denzel, and as a child, when his mother would call for one of them, they would both get confused. So she started pronouncing his name differently, and they basically didn't change the spelling, but they changed the pronunciation of his name to Denzel.
Really?
Yep.
He'll always be Denzel Washington in my heart.
Oh, me too. But I just thought we should acknowledge it.
And people aren't going to stop calling him Denzel.
No.
But it is a cool tidbit.
It's crazy.
Like, just saying his last name, you know who he is.
He's clearly just accepted the fact that people are going to call him Denzel.
He doesn't care. No.
It's not like the first movie he corrected people, you know.
See, I would. If people were calling me by the wrong name, like they were mispronouncing my name, I'd be like, "You do know how to say this, right?" like I'm just saying, just saying. I mean, hell, my ROTC instructor, my senior year of high school, the entire year he got my last name wrong. The entire year. I corrected him every time. I finally gave up the last week of school, and then on graduation day, he got it right. I'm like, "You gotta be fucking shitting me. You were fucking with me all year, weren't you?" He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
So he fucked up. So technically, it could have been where he fucked up your name, where he thought he fucked up your name once when he needed to say it correctly, and the one time he fucked up, He really said your name correctly.
It was insane.
I don't necessarily know why, but so this reminds me of an interview Eminem had where he gets on and the guy interviewing him is just like, so we have an apparent rapper, Marshall Mathers, and you know, Eminem comes on, he's talking to him, he's just like, so he's talking to him like, I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was just like, are you sure this is really what you want to do with your life? Like, do you really think you're going to become successful being a rapper? And he's just like, yeah,
I think so.
You know, this is after Eminem he's established. Eminem is one of the GOATs already.
Right.
He's like, are you sure that this is something that you can really, you know, put food on the table for your family for? He's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
One of the greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah, he's just like, you know, I think I'm like already doing that. Yeah. Like, I think I've been pretty successful. And it's just like, he's like, oh, I mean, excuse me, like,
right.
if you know, if you've made like a name for yourself or something, I haven't heard of you. So, and it's just like, it was just like wild to sit there and watch this interview because this guy had no idea who Eminem was.
What the heck?
It's like,
I can imagine Eminem's empty stare back at him because you know he's really good at those like.
He had like the most confused look on his face.
They chose the one guy
just like
who listens to shows.
Just like lost, like I'm. Like he's just like, am I being punked?
Yeah, right.
Now? Like that's the look on his face. Like, is this a joke? Like,
speaking of rappers that people haven't heard of, you guys know who Bad Baby is?
I know who Bad Bunny is.
No, not Bad Bunny. Bad Baby.
What a bad.
I know who DaBaby is.
I know who DaBaby is, and Lil Baby.
Not DaBaby and not Bad Bunny.
I don't know who Bad Baby.
Bad Baby is the girl from Dr. Phil. Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Oh, I know Bad Baby then. Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So listen, did y'all hear what she said recently about the OnlyFans that she started? She started an OnlyFans when she turned 18, and then said that all of the people that subscribed to her OnlyFans when she just turned 18 should be in jail because that's disgusting.
She wildin'.
But you took their money, though. And who's to say a bunch of them aren't also 18? How many 40-year-olds do you really think know who the fuck you are?
Right. That's... How... I hope she gets whatever help she needs if she hasn't gotten it already. I don't know her situation, but from the Dr. Phil fucking clip.
Oh, that shit was ridiculous.
Well, I mean, she doesn't need any help now.
Right. Nah, she's solid.
I didn't mean financial help.
Yeah, like her time on that show has made her famous.
Yeah. Well, so that's something we've talked about before. For some reason, stupidity gets rewarded in today's society. It just does.
That's how it works.
So somebody recommended this to me for the podcast. And sent me a video, and so I wrote down the scenarios, and I just wanted to bring them up to you guys. It was recommended I get your reactions if you dealt with this, but we're on the wrong side of a relationship possibility for most of these. These are mostly from the perspective of a female, but I'm still going to just present them to you and just see you guys' reactions. So, these are the worst things that some people have found on someone's phone, usually their significant other. Ready? Mm-hmm. My husband's wedding day pics from his first marriage.
Oh no. Oh no, that's horrible. That's like getting in more trouble than trouble.
So here's like taking out the initial, hey, why do you have like.
Right.
When you think about it, how often do you go all the way back? Like, let's say you've had this phone for years.
Wouldn't you
or like the same account.
I don't know. On your phone,
eventually, if it's well, let's say like it's your Google Photos.
Sure.
And Google Photos stores everything. all of a sudden someone sees that.
Oh, don't worry. That's the lightest one of them all.
But it's kind of implied where it's like you open the phone and you see it, like you found it.
Yeah, like it's easily. There.
But if you
unless you're if it's like, digging.
Yeah, if you dig all the way to the back. Yeah, if you're digging,
that's on you. But like if that's like
you dig to the
if that's its own folder,
to the date. Yeah, like you have a folder of wedding pics. That's probably not.
That's not a good look.
But if you dig to the date that I had my wedding,
right?
Why are you looking that far back in my phone?
All right.
What do you look? Like I don't even look back there. Why are you looking back there?
Look, man. Here's the thing. That's light work to compare to the rest of these. So this one's not a picture. This one's how her name is saved in their phone. They refer to me as Fat Emma.
Yo.
Brett, if I pick up your phone, if you tell me call my phone, bro, I can't find it, and I pick up your phone and it says Fat Daniel, I'm hitting you in the mouth. You know that, right?
Yo.
You know that, right? Like, I'm going to move on. A photo of his friend's balls dipped in yogurt. I'm going to move on.
I am going to move on.
A picture of his ex's tit in his mouth.
These poor dead men.
You best pray you forgot about that pic. And
shit moment, right?
Yeah. Like, oh shit, I completely forgot about that.
Hold on, hang on, ready? A video of him and another woman with her calling him Michael. His name is Chris.
Okay. I can't say I've had
that's
any
like
of these
the worst case scenario. Like, damn, bro, they're even calling you a different name. Like, what?
Repeatedly. How do you not correct it? And finally,
so one of y'all got the wrong name.
And finally, and on a completely out of left field, a shipment of guns and grenades from Somalia.
Oh, well, that I can understand that. But the other stuff, come on. I can deal with a little import-export legality gray area, but come on. Everything else I don't agree with.
Oh, man.
So, I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so if we're talking about things that we've seen on our significant other phone, one of my exes, so she made a friend online through like some like, hey, find friend things online, and a guy who was supposed to be her friend was talking to her, and I see the message. I wasn't going through the phone.
You just saw it. Yeah.
She was showing me something on her phone, and this message popped up. You got to leave that dude.
Whoa! Damn.
Them's fighting words.
So I had a moment, not like that, but also, I saw it on her phone while she was showing me something. I was dating this girl, and she was showing me a picture or something. She was like opening up her photo album to show me something, and I saw a picture of me and my ex on her phone. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "That right there." She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I hit the back button, touched on the photo album, clicked on the photo. That. She's like, "That's a picture of you and my ex on your phone." She was like, "Oh, is that who that is?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, I just thought it was a really good picture." And I'm like, "Of me and my ex."
Terrifying.
So here's the thing. I can see the scenario where, like let's say like that's just a ditz moment. She just didn't know. Like, if she doesn't know that's your ex, and it's just like, oh, this is a good photo of him, I can see it. But if she knows who your ex is...
Ready? They're friends!
Oh, see, that's what I was waiting for you to tell me that it was that person. That now that... Because I think I know who you're talking about now.
You live a dangerous life, my friend.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It was so bizarre. I'm like, do I get mad at this? Because it's just kind of weird. Like, yours, you
like
get
you're
mad.
In trouble. It almost seems like you're in trouble.
Because, like, for yours, you get mad. For mine, I'm like, this is just fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you hugging, or were you like?
It's
was
weird.
it like a pose?
It was like me with my arm over her shoulders, and her kissing me on the cheek.
I'd be like, do you really not care?
I was like, how does this not
like,
bother you? Because if I saw a picture of you and your ex, I would want to delete it.
I wouldn't want to sit there and look at...
Dude, I deleted the photos of me and my ex. If you go on my Facebook right now, there is no pictures of me and my ex-wife.
As it should be.
Or any of my ex-girlfriends, except for maybe one or two that I just didn't consider a girlfriend because we dated for like a week.
All right, big boss player.
I mean...
it's just weird.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
So here's
like you got to be looking at it like... Hey, like you're only seeing it as, hey, this is my friend and my
now boyfriend.
Partner, my now boyfriend, as opposed to, hey, this is my now boyfriend
and his ex-girlfriend.
She knew, right? She knew you guys were she's her friend. So
yes, they're friends. So here's what's creepier about it, though. If you think about this, so if I date somebody for a prolonged period of time and then we break up, I get rid of the pictures. I don't want to see them. They're gonna upset me. I don't want to see that. So she's had that picture since we dated. That girl and I dated.
That is creepy. She's like, he's mine next.
That picture is. It's 2023
That's foreboding.
now.
Are you still weird?
That picture is 10 years old.
That's terrifying.
That's from my senior year of high school.
She sounds like she's been an admirer there for a while now.
Here's the problem. She and I then broke up. I haven't talked to her in at least a year. I don't know if she still has the picture on her phone.
She probably made it her Facebook picture.
Like, it's just... that's just fucking creepy.
That'd be really creepy.
But
so speaking of creepy photos...
I got a creepy photo for you, too, afterwards.
I sent... you guys
get to talking.
Picture.
No.
Yeah, so I sent you this picture
of the weird
and future editing Brett, this is your time to put it up there. Ta-da, there it is.
Shit, I'm gonna pull this motherfucker back up on my phone.
So I saw this scrolling through videos on YouTube, and it turns out you guys remember the movie Alien?
Yes.
Like Alien versus Predator. So the Alien was actually based off of this. This is a real thing.
He's trying to show it.
This okay? Well, I guess I don't have to put it up now. If you guys,
I mean, that's good enough quality, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, Salo, we got it.
That's terrifying.
I hate it.
So it's called a Fromia.
A Fromunda?
It is a Fromia.
A Flomexia?
You need to calm down.
From Mexico.
So this is a.
Hold up. Did he just say from Mexico?
Fromexia, from Mexico.
I don't know why. Salo. I need to stop it. Why do you talk whenever I bring up a topic? Because now it's not about what I'm talking about. It's about how dumb you are.
It was just the Mexican version
Why?
of the Okay.
Why?
All right, refocus.
I can't. It's from Mexico.
Why are you the way you are? Why?
Oh, God. Whew. All right, tell me more about the From Mexico. Fromunda. What's it called again?
Fromia.
I'm just gonna.
Okay.
For anyone that's listening, Daniel had to mute himself because he can't control his laughter. There are tears welling up in his eyes right now. He's wiping them. It's rough.
So does this thing go in?
It's insane.
Attack you?
He has so much facial hair, but every part that isn't covered in hair is covered in tears now. The way he's wiping, he's dying actively as we speak.
Did you hear what Salo just said?
No,
Salo just said, "So does it change you?"
I said, does it go inside of you? I was like, is it like a bacterial shit? Like, is it a parasite or some shit? What is that? Is it a booger? What is it? Explain.
You good, Daniel? All right. So it is.
Does it chase you?
It's actually a commonly known parasite. This is a common thing. By common, I mean it is found throughout the world's oceans.
It does look like an ocean
all
thing.
All throughout the world's oceans, except for the polar region. I love the cold.
You ain't kidding.
God for the cold. So, and as you can kind of see, it's semi-transparent. You're not going to see this thing in the water.
No.
Oh crap!
That's definitely pseudo-translucent.
Yeah.
It will. What it does is it burrows inside a host.
Like a chigger.
This could be you. Yes.
It's like a chigger.
Burrows
it's a water
inside,
chigger.
And it lives inside the host.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't even know what that other word was, but...
A chigger? They're bugs that burrow under the skin and then lay eggs.
So it'll burrow into your skin, lay its eggs, and then it will use your body as a home for the larvae to
hatch and then grow and then they'll come out.
And then
that thing is
it's literally a water chigger.
Yeah.
Like exactly. Oh God, fuck that.
So this parasite is the muse, so to speak, for Alien, from Aliens and Alien versus Predator. I'm just gonna say it. So it feels like every year I'm learning of more and more reasons
to stay the fuck out of the ocean.
I do not belong in the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. Next is gonna be Cthulhu, dog.
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna actually talk about Cthulhu in a second. Let me get back to that. But it's not even just the ocean. I'm just deterred to go into bodies of water.
Unless they're pools.
Unless it's a fucking pool. Like
with chlorine in it, yeah.
I keep learning of things. I don't belong there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I belong on solid ground. I don't belong in the water. I'm just learning about things, right? And it baffles me how often, as a child, I was in the fucking water.
Oh, me too, dog.
Hey, let me just go hop through the ocean and just keep on going.
Let's see how far out we can go.
Yeah, see how far we can get into the ocean before, we can't touch the ground anymore and have to go back, let the waves take us back in. What the fuck was I doing as a kid?
I used to do that exact same thing where you'd be almost floating and you're like, oh shit, I gotta go back.
You're bouncing off the floor trying to...
Every once in a while you dip a little too far, you'd be like, oh shit!
It's like you paddle a little like, ah!
I think I told this on the I don't know if I told the story on the podcast, but I did that once. I was visiting my mom in Florida, and she went out with a bunch of the other adults, and they went out to surf. And you know how far out you have to go to surf to really catch waves.
Good amount.
That's not walking distance. No. You don't walk that far out. You paddle. So I'm a child. I'm I'm before double digits. That's all I remember. I know I'm before double digits. And something happened. I was playing on the beach. Something happened, and I had to tell my mom something.
I'm sorry.
I needed
Nothing was
to.
funny. It's just you said playing on the beach, and it made me think stepping on the beach.
Stepping on the beach.
That's. I'm sorry. That just the pacing you said it fucked me up. My bad.
So something happened. Can't for the life of me remember. I had to tell my mom. It was necessary. She needed to know. My grandmother was there. I was like, "Hey, where's mom? I have to tell her something." Oh, she went out surfing. She went out there surfing. All right, cool. Turn around. I walk. I go into the water. Right? No one's thinking that's a problem, right? No one thought me going into the water was a problem. I kept going. And the reason I kept going was because I heard my mom is out there. So I'm going out there.
Get your mama.
And I get to that point where I'm bouncing, popping back up, float all the way down, bounce, come back up, float all the way down. And I'm doing that. And I get to a point, I see them. I see them surfing. And I don't know which one's my mom. And I pop up, Mom! All the way down. Jump, pop up, Mom! She looks busy. I'ma just turn around now. I turn around, I can barely see the fucking coastline.
That's too far.
I'm getting hit by waves, dragging me under, rolling me back up, dragging me under.
Oh, yeah, those riptides.
And I somehow make it back.
Yep.
I get back, and my grandmother, she's like frantic. Everyone was just like, where were you? Oh, I was out there. What? Oh, I went to go talk to Mom. She's busy.
She's busy. I tried.
They're like, you went out there. I'm like, yeah, I saw her. She was on the surfboard. She didn't hear me.
I came back.
She was busy. I came back. They were petrified. They thought I got kidnapped.
Yeah.
They couldn't see me. They couldn't see me out in the water. I was too fucking far out.
And look, real talk, people sleep on those tides and undercurrents and shit. They can be strong as shit right at the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, they will drag you to the bottom of the ocean.
True story. First time I ever saved somebody from perpetual danger was at the beach. This girl was getting pulled under. She and I are friends now. So, Victoria, if you're listening, hi. But she kept getting pulled under, and I had to go in and kind of like pull her out of the water. And so now every once in a while, when we talk, she's like, yeah, I remember when we met and you saved my life. And I'm just like,
yeah. I vaguely remember the time you saved my life.
But,
so you said Cthulhu, right? You mentioned Cthulhu.
I did.
So,
I did.
Every time I've heard of Cthulhu, right? You see representations of Cthulhu.
For the record,
it's
just
the
so we
giant-
know, just so people know, we're technically pronouncing it wrong. I don't want anybody to get on us for it. Technically, no. What the fuck was that?
I don't even know what you said.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Technically,
technically,
it is Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
There's you're not apparently supposed to bring in that first H. I don't know why it's there. It's apparently Cthulhu. Anyway.
Right. So, talking about Cthulhu. So, recently I found out that all these depictions, right, never actually described as Cthulhu. It's not what Cthulhu is described as.
Nope.
So, like, you see the giant tentacle monster that looks like
Davy
the
Jones.
main villain from Ben 10. That looks like, like, you see all these as the depiction of Cthulhu.
Right.
Apparently, that's not the depiction of Cthulhu. So, in the actual, like, Lovecraft depiction of Cthulhu, he couldn't describe it. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. So, like, in the book, they say it's undescribable?
Like, there are not human words to describe Cthulhu. Cthulhu is beyond the comprehension. Cthulhu's name is not Cthulhu. Because there is no name for it. Like, there's no actual accurate depiction.
No, he's just called the Old One originally.
Yeah. So the idea is that the scary, what is supposed to be the scariest part of Cthulhu is that it is something so incomprehensible that the mediums that we as human beings use to describe everything, it cannot exist ever. that is how beyond our comprehension Cthulhu is.
Yeah, no, like
and that's supposed to be the scariest.
Yeah, like if it was, if I remember correctly, the way it was originally written was, it's not that they won't describe him, it's that they can't, because
use the words.
Because in order to understand what he looks like, in order to see him in his truest form, you would either have to shatter your mind in a way that memories could never be formed, or in a way that you would be put into a manic frenzy forever. The brain wasn't capable of comprehending what it was kind of like what they say seeing an angel's true form is like.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
You die. You go
like
crazy.
It was so incomprehensible that it would shatter your mind.
It's a reason to like what is it called? Bird Box. That movie. Mm-hmm. It's a reason, a big theory is that the entity that people were seeing was Cthulhu.
Or Cthulhu based,
yeah. Yeah, or Cthulhu based.
I like that theory.
Because it was something that like the human mind can't process, and it shatters you, and that's what was causing everything.
The visual
that's why
the visual version
like people
of
had to kill themselves.
Can't think of the name of it now. God, what was that movie?
From that guy,
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. Quiet Place. Yeah.
I was thinking about that M. Night Shyamalan one where the wind comes and you just kill yourself.
Oh, The Following.
Or
The Happening. The Happening.
The Happening. The Happening. The Happening.
The Happening. With Mark Wahlberg. One of Marky Mark's worst movies. No, so one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, because you were talking about terrifying things in the world and like how we keep finding more and shit like that, and how did we not know? So I don't think either of you guys would have heard about this guy, but a guy named Andrew Dawson. He was a TikToker who last year, middle of the year, vanished. Completely vanished. Like a little bit before that, he was driving. So he lived up in Canada. I can't remember which part, but he was up in Canada, and he saw on this cliff, this mountainside, like this mountain range, he saw a giant humanoid figure. Like, big enough that you could clearly see it from hundreds of miles away. And he's like, what the fuck is that? Is that a giant or what? You know, like it literally was so big that it was like you were looking at somebody down a hallway. On a giant mountain. And he recorded it. He posted about it. And then when he was there the next day, it was gone. And he was trying to drive around near there, and he got stopped by somebody who was kind of dressed in like a formal attire.
Brooks Brothers? Or
what?
Like Brooks Brothers suit? Or
Yeah,
like...
yeah, nice. We're talking like CIA, FBI, Men in Black kind of look.
Like a suit. Yeah.
And told him, hey, road's closed, turn around. And he kept posting about this stuff. There was a car that was outside of his house, and when he went outside, the car peeled out immediately, and he kept posting, and then he randomly posted this video that said, hey, I made everything up. None of it was real. It was all a prank. But the entire video, he just sounded off, and he kept kind of glancing to the side. It was almost like he was reading a script. And obviously, this is where conspiracy theories come in and shit like that.
That's terrifying. What the heck?
And then he posted a video, and he said, and this was after that video confessing that it was all fake. He was like, look, I just want everyone to know none of it was fake. It was all real. They're coming for me. I don't know how much time I have left. That was his last post. He went missing the next day, and then 3 days later, he was pronounced dead. And he has an obituary. I saw it. He was legally pronounced dead. So it's not like he just kind of disappeared from social media. He straight up vanished. Like, off the face of the earth. That's a little suspect.
That's very suspect, especially after seeing What a Giant. Holy crap!
But I pulled up his obituary, and like I have a picture of it, and like he was pronounced dead July 1st, 2022. He was a loving husband, father, uncle, brother, and son. It lists like a bunch of his relatives, his wife, and like people are still theorizing about his disappearance. But he posted saying he saw this giant. He posted trying to follow up. He posted agency telling him not to. He posted somebody outside his house. He posted a video saying it was all fake, but it looked coerced. And then last video he ever posted on TikTok was, it wasn't fake. They're coming for me. I don't know if I'm going to be alive much longer. And then he disappeared. He never posted another thing. And less than a week later, he was pronounced legally dead. What the fuck?
That's scary. I need to see those TikTok videos. Holy crap.
Wow.
Isn't that shit crazy?
That's like a real conspiracy theory. Like, what the
Yeah, like look. When he posted the video, because here's the thing. I was watching them in chronological order. And so when he posted the video of him like saying, I'm sorry, it was fake, he kept doing this. He's like, I want everybody to know that everything I said was completely not real, and that none of it was all made up. And like he kept looking to the side like someone was there making him say it. And me being the skeptic I am, I'm like, oh, he's doing this on purpose. He's really gonna fucking get some people. He's good. Yeah. He's good. And then he posted the other one, and he was like, none of it was real. They're coming for me. And I'm like, damn, this guy's good. And then he disappeared off TikTok, and I'm like, oh, he's committed to the bit. And then I found his obituary, and I'm like, oh, he's dead. Oh, shit.
Not
what the fuck? It wasn't a bit. What happened? Like, I went through a roller coaster of emotions watching these videos, bro. Because he had a second video of someone telling him to turn around, and it was just like a dude in a jumper. Like, it wasn't like a suit or anything. It was just like random Joe Schmo wearing a sweatsuit. And I'm like, this guy's not official. I don't know, dude. The whole thing's just, it screams suspect.
So the thing with, like, conspiracy theories nowadays, it's like, I feel like we're getting into a realm with certain documentation being released by the government, certain things, like, matching up in archaeological discoveries and shit. Like, we seem to be at a point where, like, a lot of the conspiracy theories are turning out to be less
conspiracy
and more conspiracy. Like, I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of that where, like, yeah, this might have been a theory, but how come there's a lot of evidence that suggests it's real?
I don't know, man. I mean, look, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. I love listening to them. They crack me up. I have a good time with them. I love flat earthers. They make me laugh so much. I saw a video the other day that tried to explain how the flat earth is definitely flat because of compasses, and how they always point north because they're pointing to the center. And that's why if you go east or west, you'll just go in a big circle around the world. But if you go north to south, you won't make it back to where you started. Because if you go north, you'll end up in the center. And if you go south, you'll hit a wall. And on the other side of the giant ice wall is more land. And I was like, what is happening in this fucking video?
More land.
I love conspiracy theories. But this one's sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something else.
Yeah. So, and the problem is,
damn,
I don't think there's ever going to be another update on it.
I want to revisit this, see what happens, because that's obituary. You can't really fake that shit. Like,
no, and like that's the problem. There is no follow up to this. The guy that was giving us all the info's gone, unless he was taken captive and he escapes.
So there is a real thing that could explain, let's say, the figure he saw. And that real thing, it happens in mountainous regions. Let's say you have a hiker, right? There is an effect that can cast that hiker's shadow up to the mountain. and there'll be like a glowing like kind of halo.
Oh no, it wasn't like figure.
That. Well, you know what I'm talking about, where the shadow can be cast. So like a lot of giants and like people being watched in mountains. A lot of what gets explained is that.
So those are usually on the side, like it's a side profile, and so you get like mountain behind them. This was top of mountain, sky behind.
Was there like
there was nothing for the shadow to hit?
Yeah. A lot of times it'll hit like the cloud.
No.
Yeah.
Sky.
Where was
Canada?
This? Do you know Canada?
I don't remember where. I can check and let you know later.
Canadians don't play, man.
Sketchy. Super sketchy. But yeah, so I wanted to bring that up because we were talking about crazy shit in the world. And Andrew Dawson was trying to let us know about some crazy shit. And somebody didn't want him to.
Some bodies, yeah.
Shit.
So, but that's all I got.
I think we're coming close on that time.
Yeah, that wrap up time. Anybody else got any major things?
Nope.
I have some stuff, but I guess it can be saved for the next time.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I still had two other things, but I'm going to save them for next time, too.
There you go.
So.
All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us. This has been Beyond Us Podcast. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, everything. And have a good night, evening, afternoon, and morning.
Sir, we're gonna need at least one episode where you just end it. Oof. Like where we're just like bye, and we can just end it with like, hey guys, we'll see you next time.
I feel like what we need to do is we need to like pre-record an outro for his episodes. This man.
Or we need to start sending him the bill. All
the
right?
notification bill?
The notification bill.
Yeah, we need to start sending it to him because
I should pay it.
From what I'm getting from this is these notifications should be making me some money. So, if you plan to,
front that bill,
pay me.
Yeah. Shit.
I'll take it. Salo, I appreciate
Good
you.
looks, homie. Good looks.
Appreciate it. No, I mean, you can't hide from it now. I'm gonna need you to come back up on the screen. You can't hide from it.
I'm still recording.
I'm still recording, unfortunately. Anyways, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for my boy Brett, and have a good night.
Deuces.